My name is Emma, and I am 28 years old living in the bright and busy city of Los Angeles, California. People often think that living in a place like this is all about the movies and the fame, but for me, it has always been about finding a sense of peace in a world that never seems to stop moving. I work as a digital designer for a small marketing firm downtown, which means I spend most of my days staring at a computer screen and making things look perfect for people who do not always appreciate the hard work that goes into it. I have always been a very detail-oriented person, and I think that is why I was so good at my job. I can spot a single pixel out of place from a mile away, and I can tell when a color is just a tiny bit off. This attention to detail used to be my greatest strength, but after everything that happened with my ex-girlfriend, it felt more like a curse because I could not stop noticing every single lie she told me even when she thought she was being clever. My life was pretty simple before I met Chloe. I had a nice apartment in a quiet neighborhood and a small group of friends who I really trusted. I was happy with who I was, and I was comfortable in my own skin as a woman who knew what she wanted out of life. Then, I met Chloe at a small art gallery opening in Santa Monica, and everything changed in an instant. She was 25 years old at the time, and she had this energy about her that was absolutely magnetic. She was beautiful and intense, and she seemed to see the world in a way that I had never experienced before. She told me very early on that she had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which is a condition that makes emotions feel much more intense and relationships very difficult to navigate. At first, I thought my love and my stability would be enough to help her through it. I wanted to be the person who stood by her side, no matter how hard things got, because I truly believed that she was my soulmate. She told me she was a lesbian and that she had never felt this way about anyone before, and I believed every single word that came out of her mouth. We spent every moment together during that first month, and it felt like a dream. We would drive up the coast to Malibu and watch the sunset while talking about our future together. She promised me that she would never leave and that I was the only person who truly understood her. But as the months went by, the cracks started to show in our perfect life together. The love bombing started to fade and was replaced by a constant sense of tension. Chloe would get angry over the smallest things, like the way I washed the dishes or the fact that I had to stay late at work to finish a project. She would accuse me of not caring about her, and then she would cry and beg me not to leave her. It was an emotional roller coaster that never seemed to stop, and I was getting exhausted trying to keep her happy. The biggest issue started when I noticed she was spending a lot of time on her phone and hiding her screen whenever I walked into the room. When I asked her about it, she would get defensive and tell me that I was being controlling and paranoid. She insisted that she was a lesbian and that she would never be interested in a man, but my gut feeling was telling me something different. One night while she was in the shower, I saw a notification pop up on her phone from a guy named Justin. The message was very flirty, and it was clear that they had been talking for a long time. When I confronted her about it, she did not apologize or even try to explain. Instead, she got super defensive and screamed at me saying that I was wrong and that I was making things up in my head. She told me that Justin was just a friend from high school and that I was being crazy for thinking anything else was going on. But I knew better because I could see the way she looked at her phone when she thought I was not watching. Our relationship ended in a huge explosion of tears and accusations, and she moved out of my apartment the next day. I was absolutely devastated, and I felt like my whole world had been pulled out from under me. I spent months trying to figure out what I had done wrong and why I was not enough for her. I blocked her on everything because I knew that seeing her face would only make the pain worse. I started going to therapy to try and rebuild my self-esteem, and I slowly began to get my life back on track. I focused on my work, and I tried to forget that she ever existed, but a part of me was always wondering if she was actually telling the truth about being a lesbian, or if she had been lying to me the entire whole time. I waited a whole year after our breakup before I finally had a moment of weakness. It was a rainy Tuesday night, and I was feeling lonely, so I decided to check her social media profiles just to see how she was doing. I knew it was a bad idea, but I could not help myself. When I found her Instagram page, my heart sank into my stomach because there it was right in front of my eyes. She had a new boyfriend, and she looked happier than ever in the photos they had posted together. The worst part was that she was tagging him in every single post and calling him the love of her life. It felt like a slap in the face, because she had spent our entire relationship swearing that she was a lesbian and that she would never be with a man. My intuition had been right all along, and she had been emotionally cheating on me with men while telling me that I was the one who was crazy. I felt a surge of anger that I had never felt before in my life. It was not just about the cheating, but about the way she had made me doubt my own reality for so long. She had used her borderline personality disorder as an excuse for her behavior, and she had gaslighted me into thinking that I was the problem. I decided right then and there that I was not going to let her get away with it anymore. I wanted her to feel even a fraction of the pain that she had put me through, and I knew exactly how to do it. I am a professional digital designer, and I know how to use Photoshop better than almost anyone I know. I also know how people think and what they are afraid of in a relationship. I decided to create a plan that would show her new boyfriend exactly who she really was. I started by creating a fake Instagram profile with a bunch of pictures of a girl who looked like someone who would be on a dating app in Los Angeles. I spent a few days making the profile look real by adding followers and posting stories about going to coffee shops and hiking in the hills. Once the profile looked authentic, I moved on to the most important part of the plan. I spent hours in Photoshop creating detailed and very real-looking screenshots of a Tinder profile that looked exactly like Chloe's. I used photos from her public social media, and I made sure to include details that only someone who knew her would know. I created fake message threads where she was talking to other men and saying the exact same things she used to say to me. I made sure the timestamps and the battery percentages on the phone screen looked perfect because I knew that if there was even one mistake, the whole plan would fall apart. I was so careful and so precise because I wanted this to be the ultimate revenge. After I had the perfect evidence ready, I went to the new boyfriend's Instagram page. His name was Mark, and he seemed like a nice enough guy who probably had no idea what he was getting himself into. I sent him a message from my fake profile, and I told him that I had seen him with Chloe and that I thought he deserved to know the truth. I told him that I had proof that she was cheating on him and that she was not the person she claimed to be. I was nervous as I hit the send button, but I also felt a strange sense of excitement. I waited for hours for him to reply, and when he finally did, he seemed immediately intrigued. He told me to just show him the proof so he could block her and move on with his life. It was clear that things were already rocky between them, which did not surprise me at all because Chloe is an awful girlfriend who thrives on chaos and drama. I sent him the photoshopped screenshots, and I waited to see what would happen next. I did not feel any guilt or remorse for what I was doing because I felt like I was finally balancing the scales of justice. She had lied to me for years, and she had made me feel like I was losing my mind, so this was just an eye for an eye in my opinion. A few hours later, I saw that Mark had untagged himself from all of her photos, and he had changed his profile picture to a photo of just himself. I knew that my plan had worked perfectly, and that their relationship was over. I felt a sense of glee that is hard to describe, because for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was the one in control. I had used my skills to expose her lies, and I had saved another person from going through the same nightmare that I had experienced. But even after the revenge was over, I found myself wondering if I should stop there. I started thinking about all the other people she would eventually date, and how they would all fall for her charms just like I did. I wondered if I should make this my new hobby and track down every future partner she has to warn them about who she really is. It felt like a heavy responsibility, but also like a powerful secret weapon that I could use whenever I wanted. For the next few weeks, I felt like I was walking on air. I was doing better at work, and my friends noticed that I seemed more like my old self again. I told myself that I was finally over her, and that I could finally move on with my life, but the truth was that I was still checking her social media every single day to see her reaction. She posted a series of long and dramatic stories about how people are cruel and how she was being targeted by someone who wanted to ruin her happiness. She cried on camera and talked about how hard it is to live with borderline personality disorder and how no one understands her. Watching her play, the victim made me even more certain that I had done the right thing. She was not taking responsibility for anything she had done, and she was still trying to manipulate people into feeling sorry for her. I realized that she would never change, and that she would always be the person who hurts everyone around her. My life in Los Angeles continued, and I started to find joy in the little things again, like the smell of the jasmine flowers that bloom in the spring and the sound of the ocean waves at night. I started dating again, and I met someone who is honest and kind and who makes me feel safe. But even though I am happy now, I still have those fake screenshots saved on my computer in a hidden folder. I look at them sometimes just to remind myself of what I am capable of when I am pushed too far. I know that some people would say that what I did was wrong, or that I should have just moved on and let karma handle it, but those people have never been treated the way Chloe treated me. They do not know what it is like to have your reality stolen from you and to be told that you are crazy for seeing the truth. My revenge was not just about breaking them up, but about taking back my power and showing myself that I am not a victim anymore. I am a survivor, and I am a woman who knows how to fight back when someone tries to destroy her. I still think about her from time to time, and I wonder who her next target will be. I wonder if I will be there to stop it before it even begins, or if I will just sit back and watch her life fall apart on its own. The power is in my hands now, and that is a feeling that I am never going to give up. The city of Los Angeles is full of people who are trying to be someone they are not, but I am finally living my truth. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old, and I am no longer afraid of the dark, because I know how to make my own light. The final twist in all of this happened just a few days ago when I was walking down a street in West Hollywood, and I saw Mark, the ex-boyfriend, sitting at a cafe by himself. I felt a sudden urge to go up to him and tell him who I really was, but I decided against it, because I did not want to ruin the peace that I had finally found. As I walked past him, I saw him looking at his phone, and he had a dating app open on the screen. He looked happy and relieved, and I knew that I had done him a huge favor by getting him away from Chloe. I realized then that my revenge had not just helped me, but it had helped him too. We were both free from her web of lies, and we were both moving on to better things. I smiled to myself and kept walking toward my office, feeling the warm California sun on my face. I knew that I had finally closed that chapter of my life and that I was ready for whatever came next. But as I sat down at my desk and opened my laptop, I saw a notification for a new message on the fake Instagram profile I had created. It was from a girl who said she was Chloe's new best friend, and she wanted to know if the rumors about her cheating were true. I took a deep breath and started typing, because I knew that my work was not quite finished yet, and that some stories need a little extra help to find their ending. I felt a familiar rush of adrenaline as I pulled up Photoshop once again and began to craft the next piece of evidence. I realized that I had become a sort of guardian angel for anyone who crossed paths with Chloe, and while it was a dark role to play, it was one that I was uniquely qualified for in this city of broken dreams and false promises. I spent the rest of the afternoon working on the new images, making sure every shadow and every light source matched perfectly so that no one could ever doubt their authenticity. I felt a sense of purpose that I had been missing for so long, and I knew that as long as Chloe was out there lying to people, I would be right here in the shadows waiting to reveal the truth. My life was no longer just about my own happiness, but about ensuring that the truth always comes to light, no matter how hard people try to hide it. I looked out the window at the skyline of Los Angeles, and I felt a sense of calm wash over me as I realized that I was exactly where I was supposed to be, doing exactly what I was meant to do. I am no longer just Emma, the digital designer, but I am the silent witness to the lies of the past and the architect of a future where honesty is the only thing that matters. I know that some might judge me, but in a world where people like Chloe can cause so much damage without any consequences, I am happy to be the consequence that she never saw coming. I am the one who remembers every lie and every tear, and I am the one who will make sure she never forgets what she did to me. As I sent the new set of images to the concerned friend, I felt a final sense of closure that I had been searching for since the day we broke up. I was no longer defined by her betrayal, but by my own strength and my own ability to protect others from the same fate. I shut down my computer for the day and walked out into the cool evening air feeling lighter than I had in years, because I knew that the truth was finally out there, and that I was the one who put it there. The traffic on the way home did not even bother me because I was lost in my own thoughts and the satisfaction of a job well done. I thought about how far I had come from that broken girl who was crying on her kitchen floor a year ago, and I felt a deep sense of pride in the woman I had become. I am strong, and I am smart, and I am no longer someone who can be manipulated by anyone. I am the master of my own destiny, and I am the one who gets to decide how my story ends. And for the first time in my life, I knew that the ending was going to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I parked my car and walked into my apartment feeling a sense of peace that was finally real and not just something I was trying to convince myself of. I made a cup of tea and sat on my balcony looking out at the city lights, and I knew that I was finally home in every sense of the word. The ghosts of the past were finally gone, and I was ready to start my life over on my own terms without any more lies or any more secrets. I am Emma, and I am free, and that is the best revenge of all. But even as I sat there, I could not help but check my phone one last time just to see if there were any new messages from people looking for the truth about a girl named Chloe who lives in Los Angeles and tells people she is a lesbian when she is really something else entirely. I knew that my journey was far from over, but for the first time I was looking forward to every single step of it, because I knew that I was the one in charge now, and that no one would ever take that away from me again. I felt a small smile touch my lips as I realized that I had turned my greatest pain into my greatest strength, and that I was finally living the life I was meant to live in this beautiful and crazy city of Los Angeles. I thought about the thousands of other people in this city who were probably going through the same thing I went through, and I wished I could help all of them. I started thinking about starting a blog or a support group for people who have been victims of gaslighting and emotional abuse. I wanted to share my story and show them that they are not alone and that they can find their way back to themselves just like I did. I realized that my revenge on Chloe was just the beginning of a new chapter in my life where I could use my experiences to help others. I spent the rest of the night brainstorming ideas for my new project, and I felt more inspired than I had in years. I knew that this was the real way to move on and to turn something negative into something positive. I felt a sense of excitement for the future, and I knew that no matter what happened next, I would be okay because I had myself back, and that was all I ever really needed. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old, and I am finally living my life with my eyes wide open and my heart ready for whatever comes next. I am no longer afraid of the truth because I am the one who tells it. I am no longer afraid of the dark because I am the one who brings the light. I am no longer afraid of anything because I have found my voice, and I am never going to let anyone silence me again. The city of Los Angeles felt different to me. That night like it was a place of endless possibilities, and not just a place where I had been hurt. I felt a deep connection to the people around me, and a sense of belonging that I had never felt before. I knew that I was part of something bigger than myself, and that my story was just one of many in this vast and beautiful world. I fell asleep that night with a sense of peace that I had not felt since I was a child, and I woke up the next morning ready to take on the world with a new sense of purpose and a new sense of joy. I am Emma, and I am a survivor, and I am a warrior, and I am finally who I was always meant to be. My life is mine now, and I am never going to let anyone take it away from me again. I am proud of the choices I made, and I am proud of the woman I have become through all the struggle and all the pain. I know that life will always have its challenges, but I also know that I have the strength and the courage to face them head on and to come out stronger on the other side. I am ready for the next adventure, and I am ready for whatever life has in store for me because I know that I am capable of anything I set my mind to. I am Emma, and I am happy, and that is the ultimate victory over everything that tried to break me. I am finally at peace, and it feels better than I ever imagined it could. I am living my best life in Los Angeles, and I am looking forward to every single moment of it. I know that Chloe is still out there somewhere doing the same things she always did, but she no longer has any power over me. She is just a memory, now a lesson that I had to learn the hard way so that I could become the person I am today. I wish her no harm, but I also wish her no more victims. I will continue to be the voice of truth for as long as I need to be, because it is the right thing to do. I am Emma, and I am the architect of my own happiness, and I am never going to stop building the life of my dreams. I am finally whole, and I am finally free, and that is the greatest gift I could ever give to myself. I am ready for the future, and I am ready to be the best version of myself every single day. I am Emma, and I am loved, and I am worthy of all the good things that are coming my way. I am finally exactly where I am supposed to be, and it feels amazing. I look at my life now, and I see so much beauty and so much potential, and I am so grateful for everything that brought me to this point. I'm a strong and independent woman who has found her way through the darkness and into the light. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old, and I am just getting started. The world is full of people who will try to bring you down, but I am proof that you can rise above it all and find your way back to the person you were always meant to be. I am proud of my journey, and I am proud of my strength, and I am proud of my heart. I am Emma, and I am enough. I am more than enough. I am everything I need to be, and I am finally home. I am ready for the sun to come up on a new day and a new life where I am the hero of my own story, and no one can ever take that away from me. I am Emma, and I am free. The city of Los Angeles is my home, and I am finally at peace with everything that happened here. I am looking forward to the future with hope and with joy, and I am never going to look back. I am Emma, and I am whole. I am finally who I was meant to be, and it is the most wonderful feeling in the world. I am ready to live my life to the fullest and to embrace every moment with an open heart and an open mind. I am Emma, and I am powerful, and I am never going to let anyone dim my light again. I am finally living my truth, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever known. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old, and I am just beginning to see how bright my future can be. I am ready for everything, and I am afraid of nothing. I am finally myself, and that is all I ever wanted to be. I am Emma, and I am free. I spent the next few months really leaning into my work and my new sense of self. I actually got a promotion at my firm because my creativity had reached a whole new level now that I was not constantly drained by the drama of my past relationship. My boss noticed how much more focused and energized I was, and she offered me a lead designer position on a big new account. It felt like everything was finally falling into place, and I was reaping the rewards of all the hard work I had put into my own healing. I also started that blog I had been thinking about, and the response was overwhelming. So many people reached out to me with similar stories of being gaslighted by partners with borderline personality disorder, and they told me how much my words helped them feel seen and understood. It was a strange feeling to be a source of strength for others, but it also felt like the final piece of the puzzle. I was using my pain for a purpose, and that made all the difference in the world. I still keep an eye on the fake Instagram account every now and then, but I find that I do it less and less as time goes on. The need for revenge has slowly been replaced by a need for genuine connection and authentic living. I even went on a date with a woman named Sarah, who is also a designer, and we have been seeing each other for a few months now. She is everything that Chloe was not. She is honest and stable, and she communicates her feelings in a healthy way. We talk about our futures and our dreams, and for the first time it feels like I am building something that could actually last. I told her about what happened with Chloe, and she was so supportive and understanding. She did not judge me for what I did to get revenge, but she also encouraged me to keep focusing on my own growth and happiness. I feel so lucky to have found someone who truly sees me for who I am and who values the same things I do. My life in Los Angeles is full of color and light, and I am finally experiencing the kind of love that I always hoped for. I know that there will always be people like Chloe in the world who want to cause pain, but I also know that there are people like Sarah who want to build something beautiful. I am choosing to focus on the beautiful things from now on. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old, and I have learned that the best revenge is not just breaking someone else down, but building yourself up so high that they can no longer reach you. I am higher than I have ever been, and I am never going to look down. I am finally the woman I was always meant to be, and I am so excited for everything that comes next. I am Emma, and I am happy, and I am home. I am ready for my life to truly begin, and I am going to make every single second count. I am the master of my own fate and the captain of my own soul, and I am never going to let anyone else steer my ship again. I am heading toward the horizon, and I am never looking back. I am Emma, and I am free, and I am whole, and I am loved. The end of my story is just the beginning of a whole new life, and I am so ready for it. I am finally at peace with my past, and I am so excited for my future. I am Emma, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am finally myself, and that is the greatest victory of all. I am Emma, and I am 28 years old living in Los Angeles, and my life is more beautiful than I ever thought it could be. I am thankful for every lesson and every tear because they brought me here to this moment of pure and total freedom. I am Emma, and I am finally okay. I am more than okay. I am wonderful. And that is the absolute truth. I have learned that time does not just heal all wounds, but it gives you the perspective to see that those wounds were just part of a larger map that led you to exactly where you needed to go. I am standing on solid ground now, and I can see the whole city of Los Angeles spread out before me like a sea of stars, and I know that I am one of them. I am shining bright, and I am never going to let anyone blow out my flame again. I am Emma, and I am a force of nature, and I am finally living my life with purpose and with passion. I am happy, and I am free, and I am exactly where I am meant to be. This is my story, and I am the one who gets to write the final words. And the final words are that I am okay, and I am going to be okay for the rest of my life. I am Emma, and I am home.